Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you are. Guys, smash the like button on this video. Hit the subscribe button. And guys, as you can probably see, as you can probably take from how emotional and how excited I am, you normally know it's kind of big news. Demetrius Andrade, his team have, I think they informed, who did they inform? Was it the promoters? I can't remember who they informed. Or the sources are saying Demetrius Andrade is going to vacate the 160-pound title and he's going to move up to fight. He's going to move up to fight Zach Parker and to become the mandatory of Canelo Alvarez. A lot of people are going to criticize Demetrius Andrade here. He's going to come under serious criticism here because for me, Demetrius Andrade is chasing a dream which he's never going to get at this point. The harder fight for him was Beck, and he's decided to move up and fight Zach Parker, who is a good fighter, but a fight that Andrade would win with ease. And a fight that a lot of people thought would be a threat to him in Beck, he's not going to fight him. But he's now going to move up. He's now going to move up and fight Zach Parker to become Canelo's mandatory. And we all know that Canelo isn't going to be staying at 168 pounds. I think his last fight might be Charlo. And then he'll move up. So for me personally, I just don't know. I don't know what Andrade is doing. I don't understand his moves. I don't understand the point of what he's doing. I feel like I just don't get it. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. I think he's going to find himself in a very sticky situation. He's going to find himself in a situation where I don't know I don't know the direction of his career. It just seems like his management and his team haven't been able to secure him a fight. And one thing I don't understand is that Matchroom, right? And I'm going to talk about the Canelo offer that's coming in the next video. But Matchroom have offered Bivol and Golovkin. Golovkin's at 160 pound, right? And Bivol is at 175. I don't understand. Why not offer Andrade and Bivol, and Andrade's moving up to 168. So they obviously know that Canelo has no intention to fight Demetrius Andrade just from that offer. Because if Andrade is moving up to 168 pounds to become the mandatory of Canelo Alvarez, that offer from Matchroom clearly shows that he has no intention, because Eddie Hearn would know that he has no intention. That's why he hasn't offered the Andrade fight. Otherwise, he could have put Andrade and Bivol, right? But instead, he's put Golovkin and Bivol. That's what Matchroom has offered. So they obviously know that Canelo has no interest in that fight. So what I find kind of staggering is Demetrius Andrade is still going to move up to 168 for what? Who's there at 168 for Andrade? I don't quite understand. Who is there for Demetrius Andrade? There's nobody. There's literally nobody for Andrade. There's no one there at 168. Like, who's he going to fight? Benavidez? Benavidez has got no belt. Yeah, look, what might happen is Andrade, Canelo may vacate, and then Andrade may get to fight for vacant titles. He might get to fight for the vacant WBO, and then they'll all scrap it out for the titles. But what Andrade's got to understand is that he's not going to get that Canelo fight, because Canelo's going to move up to 175. So I don't understand. I just don't understand why Andrade is, moving up. I actually think the 160-pound division has bigger fights for him. Unless Charlo, it looks like he's going to move up to 168, so that could be a potential fight. But we already know that the Charlo fight is a fight that's not being able to be secured either for Andrade. So I think Andrade is going to find himself in the same situation at 168. I don't see the point of him moving up to 168, because the purpose that he's going up for, to become the mandatory of Canelo Alvarez, is irrelevant, because Canelo's not in, like, just the offer that Matchroom have offered Canelo clearly shows that Canelo has no interest in fighting Demetrius Andrade, and Matchroom have understood that Canelo has no intention in fighting Demetrius Andrade, hence why they didn't even put Demetrius Andrade on the offer. So Andrade, for me, should have just stayed at 160, try to improve his resume by fighting Beck, who would be his hardest fight to date. But instead, he's going to fight Zach Parker to become the WBO mandatory. And then the chances are, after Canelo probably fights Jamal Charlo, right? He'll probably move up to 175. And then Andrade is going to... What's Andrade going to do then? Move up to 175? This is what I mean. Like, I feel like he's only moving up for the Canelo fight, Andrade. But he's not going to get the Canelo fight. So I don't understand the point of him. I just don't understand it. I don't understand. I think he should have stayed at 160. But then I understand, because he's probably thinking, where am I going at 160? Andrade is in a no-win situation. Like, where is he going at 160? He's not unifying. He's not fighting anybody at 160, anyone relevant. He's not fighting anybody. Like, at 168, who is there? There's Benavidez, there's Caleb Plant. So yeah, there are names there. To be fair, there are names there like Caleb Plant and Benavidez who he could potentially fight. And I know Benavidez would be interested in a fight with him. Benavidez is the type of guy that he'll fight anybody. So I think that could be a good fight for Demetrius Andrade. Andrade at this point just needs to fight credible opponents. I think he needs to get in there with top fighters, because at the minute his resume is looking so poor for a guy that's been around for so long, and not to have any elite fighters on his resume is kind of like, what the hell? What has his team been doing? You know, and he's not. And when you look at what he's doing, unless he has the goal and aim to fight guys like Caleb Plant and Demetrius Andrade and prove himself, then the 168, if he's moving up there to get Canelo, then I think he might as well forget it. He might as well forget it, because he's not going to get that fight. Let's be brutally honest. Canelo Alvarez is moving up after that one more fight, possibly. And he may not even have that one more fight at 168. He may just move up and take the Bivol offer. But one thing I don't understand about that offer with the Matchroom, it just doesn't make sense, because why would you offer Bivol and then Golovkin? A 2-fight deal, which doesn't make sense. I don't really understand that. But I guess that can be turned into a 1-fight deal. He might just take Bivol and then stay at 175. But yeah, with Andrade, it's a bit of a confusing situation. Andrade for me is going to end up being a wasted talent. He's just not going to get the fights. He's not going to get the opponents that he wants. And I think we're never going to get to see the best of Andrade. Or that's what it looks like anyway. Because let's be brutally honest, Andrade's going to go up and fight Zach Parker. Then he's going to become mandatory. Now, it may be a calculated move from Andrade in the sense that he's moving up. He knows that Beck's a hard fight. Let's move up before we have that fight with Beck, so he can fight for the vacant title. There's no point in fighting him. That fight don't make sense, from Andrade's point of view, even though I think he should have fought him and then probably moved up just to show that he's not scared, or he's not ducking him. But to say the fight doesn't make sense, well, any fight that Andrade's been having recently doesn't really make a lot of sense. Because unless the fighters are Caleb Plant, Canelo, Benavidez, or Golovkin, or Charlo, it doesn't make sense. Anyone lesser than that doesn't make sense. Quigley didn't make sense. Liam Williams didn't make sense. None of those fights made sense, because none of those guys are what we consider the top tier in those divisions. But in my opinion, he's got more options at 168. But again, he's with DAZN. Those options are with the PBC. So yeah, if Jamal moves up, that Jamal Charlo fight didn't happen at middleweight. What's to say that fight's going to happen at super middleweight? Now, if Jamal Charlo does get the Canelo fight and he loses, he may be more willing to fight Demetrius Andrade. Now, Benavidez and Caleb Plant, they'd be happy to fight Andrade, in my opinion. I think they'd be open for that fight. I think that they'd fight that fight in a heartbeat, If I'm brutally honest with you, I think both Plant and Benavidez would fight Andrade. But the only issue is that Andrade is with DAZN and those guys are with PBC. So I don't know how, and they're not really that big fight. They're not really huge fights, are they? Andrade v Plant is not a massive fight. Andrade v Benavidez isn't really a massive fight. So is the fight going to warrant PBC looking into it and being interested in it? Because I'd be very surprised if they let Caleb Plant go and fight on DAZN, and I'd be very surprised if they let Benavidez fight on DAZN. So the chances are, especially when they think that someone like Benavidez could be a potentially huge fight with Canelo, and that fight will probably be on PBC, and that would be like a fight which probably does over 1 million pay-per-view buys, without doubt, because of the rivalry between, you know, Benavidez being an American and Mexican. That would be a massive fight. So that would make, they know that Benavidez could be a potential huge fight for Canelo in the future, which could make a lot of money. So PBC would probably not let Benavidez fight Andrade. But I think Benavidez is the type of guy who might push that fight if he knows Andrade wants it, because Benavidez just wants to prove himself. It's not about Canelo. Also, Benavidez wants to do what Canelo did and become undisputed. I think Benavidez wants all the belts, hence why he's staying at 168. So if Andrade manages to grab a belt, you know, he could definitely get a fight with Demetrius Andrade. I don't think they're big money fights, so I don't think they're huge money fights. But at this point, I'm pretty sure Andrade's made some decent money in his career. Yeah, he hasn't had that big payday, because he hasn't really fought anybody with that kind of name. But I think at this point, Andrade needs to solidify his legacy and obviously make money. I don't know his financial situation. You know, Andrade needs to secure that as well, because he's getting to the stage of his career where, and that's why avoiding Beck, or, you know, not taking the Beck fight makes sense, because you don't want to end up taking a dangerous fight at this point and end up losing and your career is done, because it's very important for Andrade right now to keep winning, because if he was to lose, that could be his career done. So I understand from a business point of view why he's not chosen to fight Beck, because it's dangerous. That's a very horrible, dangerous fight. Beck's a really good fighter. And, you know, Ray, my good friend Ray, thinks that Andrade is ducking. He thinks Andrade is ducking Beck, and a lot of people think Andrade is ducking Christian. Came back to me. I actually messaged Christian. Christian came back to me and said, no, that fight doesn't make sense right now. He sent me a message. I haven't read it fully. I'm going to go back and read it and then probably respond to him. But yeah, it's going to be interesting when I do that live this evening to see your guys' opinions about this Andrade and Beck situation. I do think that I wouldn't say, you know, you can call it a duck, or you can call it avoiding, or you could just call it making business sense. And I just don't think that fight makes business sense, because Andrade knows it's a dangerous fight. What's he going to gain from that? He might as well go up and look to become a mandatory challenger for the WBO and, you know, hope that he gets the Canelo fight, which isn't going to happen. Let's be honest. Canelo's not going to fight him. So, I just think that Andrade is going to be left fighting the guys at 168 who are, like Caleb Plant and Benavidez. These are good fights for him if those fights can come off. And he probably thinks that, you know, at 160, he's not going to get any unification fights. You know, this is a guy that's never had a unification fight. This is a guy that's never fought a champion. He's never fought a champion, which is crazy. Crazy. For this guy's been around for so long and he's not fought another champion, which is absolute absurd. But, you know, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you guys make of this situation? Demetrius Andrade to vacate and move up to 160 pounds to chase the Canelo Alvarez fight. Leave your thoughts, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.